Hey, fellow yoga teacher. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to fill your workshop with a really great title and description. Now, the title of your workshop is the very first impression of your workshop, and students will immediately know if they want to attend or not based on the title. Creating a good title will hook the student and make them want to learn about the workshop and more about you. And once we can really hook them, then they're more likely to buy because they'll realize how amazing you are as a teacher, and they'll realize that this workshop will solve a major problem for them. So let's really hone in, and I have three big topics I really want to talk about, three big tips for you today on how to create a good workshop title. Now, first, your workshop title should solve a problem. Yeah, this is a big strategy that marketers use. So you want to solve a problem with your workshop title. Let me give you some examples. Which workshop would you rather attend? Yoga for the pelvic floor, or reduce your incontinence with yoga for the pelvic floor? Now, if you don't suffer from incontinence, then it's not a problem for you. But for lots of women out there, they're really struggling with incontinence. And I'm more likely to hook people with reduce your incontinence rather than just yoga for the pelvic floor. They may be very similar workshops. Maybe I talk a little bit more about incontinence in the second workshop, but I still am bringing in pelvic floor exercises, strengthening, and stretching. I'm still bringing in yoga techniques and relaxation as well. I'm just solving a little bit more of a problem for someone with the second workshop. So let me ask you this. Here's another example. Which workshop would you rather attend? How to create a yoga workshop. Okay. Make more money by hosting a yoga workshop. Ooh, I'm solving a problem for you with that second title. Your problem is that as yoga teachers, we often are really struggling to make ends meet. So I'm telling you that by hosting a yoga workshop, you can make more money. You're probably more likely to attend that second workshop. Here's another example. Create a good title for your yoga workshop, or book more students with your workshop title. Yeah. Your problem is that you want to book more students. It's the same information, but you're more likely to buy that second workshop because I'm solving a problem for you. So, what problem are you solving with your yoga workshop? This goes for teacher trainings as well. You don't want to just have a title like 200-hour yoga teacher training. Rather, what if your title was Transform Your Life with our 200-hour yoga teacher training? That's much catchier. I'm more likely to buy that program. I'm more likely to do more research and at least contact you because maybe I'm looking to transform my life. Here's the thing. Your students want to know why they should buy. What problem will this solve for them? Now, you want to make sure that you can actually deliver on the results. So if you say that your workshop will help with incontinence, then you better be prepared to do a lot of work on incontinence. Don't focus on shoulders in an incontinence workshop. If you're going to claim that that having a good workshop title will help a student book more classes or book more students, then you better be prepared to deliver on that. You better believe that that's what's going to happen. I also want to warn you, I don't think you should use words like heal or fix. As yoga teachers, we're not doctors, and we can't heal or fix anyone. The student has to do it on their own. Now, we can work with people to help decrease their pain or overcome their anxiety, but we can't heal or fix anyone. And also, making these types of claims can actually get you in legal trouble with the medical community. So avoid saying words like heal or fix. Okay, now, second tip is you may be listening to this and thinking, well, I don't know what the problem is with my workshop. Like, I don't know what problem I'm solving. It's really just strictly informational and educational. Okay, that's great. That's totally fine. Then my second piece of advice is to start your workshop title with a verb. All of the workshop titles that I mentioned before, they all started with a verb. So instead of saying Chakra Stone Workshop, what about discover the magical properties of the chakra stones? That sounds much more enticing, right? Reduce your incontinence with yoga for the pelvic floor. You want to book more students with a good workshop title. All of these start with a verb. So that's my second piece of advice, is start your workshop title with a verb. Okay, now moving on. My last piece of advice, and this is arguably probably the most important piece of advice, is to make sure that you use words that people know. This may seem really simple, but I see yoga teachers all the time just really using words that people don't understand. So whenever you're creating your yoga workshop title and even the description, make sure that people know what you're talking about. If we're going to be doing a workshop for beginning yoga students, then you're not going to create a workshop titled Uncoil the Kundalini Energy of the Spine. Beginning students have no idea what Kundalini energy is at all. And they're going to be maybe a little freaked out. Like, are we going to be talking to spirits? Are you going to be like squeezing my spine? Like, what is this Kundalini energy and how are you going to uncoil it? It sounds a little intimidating. They don't know what it is. I had a fellow colleague, yoga teacher friend of mine, and she hosted a workshop and it was called EM Yoga. And she posted it all over her website and social media. And I had no idea what EM Yoga was. And I've been teaching for 13 years. So I reached out to her after I saw it for the 4th or 5th time. And I was like, what is EM Yoga? She's like, oh, energy medicine yoga. And I was like, I had no idea that that's what it was. Whenever you're in the field, whenever you're doing and you're talking to people within your field all the time, it's really easy to come up with abbreviations and use big words that we all maybe understand, but your students may not. So whenever I told her, okay, EM Yoga is energy medicine yoga, well, I still don't even know what energy medicine yoga is. I'm less likely to attend a workshop that I really don't know anything about. So I asked her, what is the problem that you're trying to solve? And she was like, well, it's energy medicine yoga for grief. And I said, oh, so you're trying to help people move beyond grief. Yeah. So what if we titled the workshop Beyond Grief? And that is much more enticing, I think, to just the normal person. The normal person doesn't care if you are using EM yoga, if you're using energy medicine yoga, if you're using Kundalini yoga, if you're using yoga therapy. They don't care. They just want to know that what we're going to be working with is moving beyond grief. So make sure that whenever you create your workshop title and description that you're going to be using words that people know. Go ahead, ask your family and your friends, do you guys understand what this means? Or are you confused by this title? Run it by your family and friends who have no yoga experience and see if they'd be likely to attend. As you continue, make sure that you create your good workshop description. Keep your workshop description pretty short. In today's society, we don't really like to read a lot. It's just the truth. We're constantly bombarded with lots of things. So keep your description pretty short, maybe 4 sentences. If you had a really good title, you've hooked them in. So maybe in the description, you want to continue talking about how you're going to solve their problem, and maybe then provide a little bit about the structure of the workshop. We're going to work on yoga strengthening and stretching exercises to help reduce incontinence and of the pelvic floor. Join us for this 6-week series as we dive into these exercises. I don't know, that was very short. But you may want to add in a little bit more for your description. On your flyer, keep your description pretty short. On your website, maybe you want to start including a little bit more information, especially if you're doing a really big program like a teacher training. Whenever I'm hosting a teacher training, I do include a lot more information because the investment is a lot more. So people are looking to find out more information whenever they're looking to spend a few $1,000s. Whenever we're just signing up for a workshop for maybe 100 or less, we may not need to know all the details. A shorter description may work better. So there's no guaranteed length or rule of length for your workshop description. Just keep it brief, to the point, and focus on solving the problem and using words that people actually know. All right, so I would love to hear about your workshop title. What are you thinking of hosting? What workshop titles are you kind of playing around with? Join us in our Yoga Teacher Talk Facebook group and create a poll in there. Let us know what workshop titles that you're thinking of, and we'll give you our honest feedback. You can ask us any questions and we'll help you brainstorm so you can create a successful workshop and get those students in there. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I cannot wait to see you in the Facebook group.